that any company designed for success in the 20th century is doomed to failure in the 21st century. And I mentioned this in the opening introduction, but all of our traditional org structures are top-down hierarchical pyramid-type structures designed for efficiency, designed for predictability, right? We want to deliver the same widget in 100 locations. McDonald's is trying to deliver the exact same Big Mac in 200 countries around the world. Except today, you need to be architect for agility, flexibility, adaptability, and speed. And the reason that our old model doesn't work is that at the time, the world wasn't changing that dramatically. From year to year, the market stayed roughly similar. The car market hadn't really changed since the 60s. You had slightly better cars. The 2018 model was slightly better than the 2017 model. One of them had go faster stripes. You had a slightly better engine. But really, it was incremental change year to year. And a top-down efficient organization could operate that way. The challenge, though, is with the rise of exponential technologies over the last 20 years, with AI, blockchain, and you've heard me talk about this as Gutenberg moments, this old organization pattern does not work because the metabolism of the world is accelerating. And maybe summarized most powerfully by Jack Welch, who is the CEO of GE. And he made this comment in his annual report in the year 2000. He said, the minute the metabolism of your company is slower than the outside world, you're dead. The only question is when. And you could argue today that the metabolism of almost every big company in the world is slower than the outside world, right? And so this is it's an existential threat to be organized in a new way. And these, I call them 20 Gutenberg moments that are coming along are changing everything, and you heard a bit about some of those. Those technologies are creating unbelievable opportunities because each of them is doubling, but where they intersect adds a whole other multiplier to the equation. If you take cryptocurrency, say you take cryptography and you intersect that with computation, you get cryptocurrencies, right? And so we need massively new organizational designs to deal with these new structures. The second major paradigm shift is that almost every business in the world for 10,000 years has depended on having and selling scarcity, right? Pretty much for 10,000 years, if you didn't have scarcity, you didn't have a business. So you'd get a design team, you'd get an asset or a workforce, put a legal boundary around that, and sell access to scarcity. Whether it was a great design team, a hotel on a beach with only one hotel on this beach, a great chef, whatever. Essentially, we've been selling scarcity. But today, as we enter abundance, for example, we have an abundance of information on the internet, a scarcity model doesn't work, right? We need an abundance model. Uber is tapping into an abundance of extra cars lying around. Airbnb has created a $100 billion company by just tapping into extra bedrooms lying around. And now we need to be architected more and more for abundance. As you've heard, solar energy will deliver an abundant amount of energy into the world. So we need a new business model, a new style of organization focused on abundance as a business model and exponential technologies. Because 20th century organizations are scarcity-based, risk-averse, slow to market, hierarchical structures that are very complex and very complicated. Okay? You need to get clearance from 18 different levels to get something done. Whereas 21st century organizations are innovative, agile, entrepreneurial, experimentation-based, autonomous. They move very quickly. They create economic value very fast. They disrupt industries very quickly. Look at this company, Thrasio. Okay? It is less than 2 years old, and he's gone from zero to a $2 billion revenue run rate in less than 2 years. Okay? I'm just going to repeat that: 0 to 2 billion in revenue run rate in less than 2 years. So if that's possible, why aren't more companies taking advantage of it? And the reason is they just don't know. They just don't know that this is possible. Okay, so this need for a different style of an organization has never been more pervasive than today. To think about how do you need to organize in a completely different way. And the starting point of this was really Amazon Web Services. When Amazon Web Services launched in 2006, it allowed us to take computing off the balance sheet and move it as to having it be a variable cost, because you didn't have to have a huge amount of capital expenditure to build your own server farms and maintain your own server racks and have systems administrators with geek pencil pockets, and they all spoke geek only, and managing all the server racks, etc., etc. Now anybody could go and create a web services instance and create a company instantly. The cost of building a software business went from about 20 million in about 1995. Today, that's about $50,000 to build a company. Okay, so the potential is absolutely unbelievable, because we can now do so much by starting with computing off the balance sheet. So I think of 2006 as the birthplace of exponential organizations, and we saw a huge burst of this happening. The best definition we use is that EXO delivers 10x better, faster, cheaper than its competitors in the same space. The other definition, which is new, is that where traditional companies have learned how to do online marketing and drop their cost of demand, EXOs have figured out how to radically drop the cost of supply. Okay, so you think about Airbnb, the marginal cost of adding a room to their inventory is near zero. Whereas if you're Hyatt, you have to build a whole hotel. Same with Waze, same with Uber. So now we have dozens of organizations and startups entering legacy industries with almost no marginal cost of supply. And that is an existential threat to the incumbent. And if you can do that, you have low cost of demand generation and low cost of supply delivery. Your market cap explodes, which is why the market value is so incredibly high. And so, as you saw earlier, the model for EXOs is now the definitive business organizational paradigm for the 21st century. And these old linear organizations are now all in very, very big trouble. Take the car industry. Until the Mercedes EQ, or until the Porsche Taycan came out, which was 10 years, I would argue that the 2012 Tesla Model S was the most advanced car in the world for almost a decade. It took the car industry a full decade to catch up. Meanwhile, Elon is off to 3 more business models. And so therefore the legacy organizations, legacy industries have an incredibly difficult time keeping up. And we've talked a little bit about why, but we'll go into it a bit more. They all have this immune system problem where they resist innovation. There's a reason why Tesla could not spin out of Ford or GM or Toyota. There's a reason why Airbnb did not spin out of a hotel chain. There's a reason why Uber did not spin out of Hertz, right? All the immune system stops existing organizations because they're all trying to be efficient and, as we said, and predictable, and that's totally orthogonal to disruptive innovation. So the reason that these old organizations don't adapt is because the world is moving much more quickly than we've ever seen, and they're not able to take advantage of that. New organizations can take advantage of that and are now disrupting every industry that we can see on the planet. So welcome to this disruptive age. This is the case for exponential organizations.